It's official, the head of Sony Interactive Entertainment and PlayStation boss Jim Ryan is set to retire in March of next year after more than 30 years with the company. So where's that leave PlayStation? Now, before we get into the state of play as they call it, let's talk about why Ryan is actually leaving the company, because a lot of people might think this is a reaction to the wild summer of legal battles in areas around the world as Microsoft is trying to acquire Activision Blizzard, which PlayStation has been fighting, and which at this point has not exactly gone in Sony's favor. In reality, Jim's reasoning for leaving is much simpler than that. He's just ready to retire and was tired of traveling for work. In Ryan's official statement, he said that he found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America, and he said before that he's lived in certain regions for months at a time while he's visiting and working out of PlayStation hubs that are scattered around the world. Now, Sony is starting the process of transitioning Ryan out of that lead role and shifting his responsibilities back to Hiroki Totoki, who is the COO and president of Sony Group Corporation, which is the group that leads every single division within Sony. He's going to be taking the reins while the company searches for a new head of the leading platform holder in the console gaming market, which is a huge responsibility. So what's changing between now and March? Honestly, it's probably not much. Sony currently has a strategy in place, and then the releases that they're plotting out over the course of the next 2 years or so are all but set in stone. But the bigger question is related to the future. PlayStation's been pushing hard into the live service games category with the goal to release 12 live service games by 2025. And to be clear, these aren't all going to be Fortnite or Destiny level projects. The head of PlayStation Studios, Herman Hulse, said, quote, "There is a risk that we talk about live service in generic terms as if it's a single genre or even a single business model. PlayStation Studios are making a variety of games that could be referred to as live service games, targeting different genres, different release schedules, and at different scales. We're also creating games for different audiences, and I take confidence from our track record in creating worlds and stories that PlayStation fans love." However, looking to the future, it's hard to say there was a ton to get excited about during this summer's PlayStation Showcase. There were some big headline announcements like the PlayStation Portal cloud gaming handheld that, mind you, can't run games natively and does require a PS5 to do much of anything, and a set of new PlayStation wireless earbuds. But a lot of the big games shown off weren't even from PlayStation Studios. We did see Spider-Man 2, which is a big fall release, but beyond that, big third-party games like Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Alan Wake 2 all took the spotlight. No Wolverine in sight either. But behind those big headliners, the live service push from PlayStation is starting to really take shape. In fact, Destiny 2 The Final Shape is a big DLC set to land in Bungie's multi-platform live service FPS next year, but they're also bringing back the 90s franchise Marathon as a sci-fi PvP extraction shooter, which is also definitely going to be a live service game. Even outside of Bungie, Fair Games is a competitive heist game that was announced and immediately fell flat. This one has a similar vibe to Sega's Hyenas with a splash of Payday or a Grand Theft Auto heist thrown in, but overall this has the same vibe within the community as Hyenas did before it was canceled. It doesn't really feel like anyone is clamoring to get their hands on this game or really cares at all. Then there's Concord, a PvP sci-fi multiplayer FPS developed by Firewalk Studios and set for 2024. We don't know too much about this one beyond the statement in the announcement blog that, quote, "Every time you log on is the beginning of a new adventure, and every match is an opportunity for a new story," which does sound once again a lot like another live service game. And then there's Helldivers 2, the sequel to 2015's Helldivers that got plenty of love from fans as a AA level top-down shooter, but unlike the original, Helldivers 2 is an over-the-shoulder third-person shooter with a focus on co-op. We don't know too much about the post-launch roadmap for Helldivers 2. In fact, the game literally just got its new release date of February 8th, but it's pretty easy to see this getting DLC drops, battle passes, or any variety of post-launch content to bring this into that ongoing live service category that PlayStation is pushing. All the while, Naughty Dog is still chipping away at The Last of Us factions after Bungie was brought in to provide some constructive criticism or tough love to help ensure this game is going to land to be a win in the live service category for PlayStation after years and years and potentially millions and millions of dollars in development. Will any of these games be interesting, engaging, or unique enough to pull players away from the third-party games that are taking the spotlight? And even if they are able to pull them away from those big games, will they be able to keep them there? But no matter how you slice it, change is absolutely coming at PlayStation. Big, iconic PlayStation franchises like Spider-Man, God of War, The Last of Us, and Ghost of Tsushima clearly aren't going anywhere. They're at the heart of PlayStation's true identity. But there is a clear shift toward experimenting with new ideas and new ways to drive revenue that could be shaping the future of PlayStation. And whether or not they stay on that path is ultimately up to whoever the next big boss is that lands in the driver's seat. We'll see what the future holds as it unfolds, but if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop it a like down below and let me know in the comment section what you would want to see from PlayStation in the next 5 years. Also, be sure to subscribe for gaming shorts throughout the week, and I'll catch you on the next one.